Hello, everybody. I'm Shweta. I am a third year undergrad. I study science and education. I am also a science communicator. I host a podcast called India Asks Why. And I've been working with the Semantic Climate team as a volunteer now, although I have formally managed the project and have also been an intern for close to 2 years now. At the outset, I would like to thank Francois and Jose for this opportunity to pitch for the SDG Accelerator and also for hosting a wonderful hackathon. So the project that I'm now going to describe is an extension of what we've already been doing, but the focus of Climate Knowledge Hunt would be to produce and test interactive hybrid workshops to hunt for knowledge in these climate reports and make them accessible. Before I describe the project in detail, let me quickly introduce you to our diverse team. We are all part of a remote internship program, which Peter Murray Rust from University of Cambridge and Gitanjali Yadav from National Institute of Plant Genome Research have been running for close to 2.5 years now. All the interns are working remotely, and we are distributed across the country, India, and also across the globe. Right now, we have about 4 active interns, and we also have 3 or 4 active volunteers who are contributing to liberating knowledge from climate reports. But previously, we've also worked at liberating knowledge from viral epidemics literature and also from plant chemistry literature. So the information that we crucially need to save the world is locked up in these IPCC reports, IPBES reports, and so on that are produced by organizations such as UN and also by various other organizations. And these come in as PDFs only, and these are just IPCC reports are 30,000 pages long. That's equivalent to 100 PhD theses, let's say. So with so much information in these PDFs, how can we make sense of them and how can we make use of them, right? PDFs are not very friendly both to humans and to machines, and it's a difficult task to extract structured information from them. And that's exactly what we've been doing. So we take these PDFs and unlock the information in them by converting the PDFs or chapters to HTML, which can be read by both machines and humans. And once we have the HTML, we can extract useful information such as all the climate related terms, let's say, or all the abbreviation related terms. And we can also look up Wikidata for the identifier for these terms in the dictionary. So Wikidata is the sister project of Wikipedia, and it contains structured information about almost everything and anything. So we might be interested in, say, all the abbreviations that are mentioned in these IPCC reports or all the climate related terms. All of these can be captured into these dictionaries. And once we have the identifiers, we can also add the identifier information back into HTML as hyperlinks like we've done here. So you can see this is an actual IPCC report that we've taken and added hyperlinks into it. But once we have those dictionaries, like I told you, we can do so many other interesting things. So for example, you could ask, okay, tell me what are the common climate-related terms that are used in specific chapters of IPCC report. And we can do that. We can, let's say, come up with the word cloud of all the important terms that the reports mention. So this is something that the tool called Doc Analysis has produced. And here is a demo that you can check out once the slides are up online. So these are all created with the help of the dictionaries that we create from by either extracting information from the chapters itself or from other sources like Wikidata, Wikipedia, and so on. And once we have the dictionaries linked to Wikidata, we can do even more by, let's say, looking up what the term adaptation means in different languages. We already have the information about the identifier, and it doesn't take much effort to look up the different language mentions for these specific terms. So we are also not restricted to textual information. We are also indexing images, and there are thousands and thousands of images in these reports, and these are very crucial to communicate what's happening with climate, and also these contain crucial data that people can use to save the world from climate crises. So far I've discussed the pipeline that we have developed and continue to develop. But tools are just one component of the knowledge hunt. More importantly, we also need people who are actually going to use these tools and technology that we've been developing. And that's where the learning module that we propose to develop is going to come into picture. So we want to come up with open, reusable learning modules that cater to small groups and can be, presented in workshops. So these carpentry, workshops that are very similar to carpentries that software folks might be familiar with, where people get together to learn a specific skill, can be very useful to bring in people like undergrads and even early career researchers to try out the software that we've been developing and extract useful information that is relevant to them. So the learning module would focus on a general introduction to Python, but also it prompts people to try out the tools that we've been developing, and we will have a step-by-step tutorial that helps them to run our tools. So to do that, we first need to think about building and strengthening existing collaborations. So for example, Wikidata can help us test whether and adapt our pipeline for specific cases. Open Climate can help us run workshops, and IPGR will also host our workshops and so on. So we would want to have active discussions with these collaborators, but also we want collaborators to test the learning module that we develop and document the tools that we are creating. But not just existing, these are all people who we've previously worked with, but we are also looking at expanding and probably talking to UNESCO here in India, or also even Open Knowledge Foundation. And more importantly, we've also been actively prototyping the learning module. For example, the current interns, the 4 or 5 of them, are working precisely on the pipeline that I just now described, wherein they're taking the PDF reports, converting it into HTML and extracting images, extracting text, and many other useful data from these reports. So what we plan to do in the workshop is that we want to condense the whole pipeline in such a way that it can be used and learned from in a day's time. So let's say we run this at an IPGR, we would have about 40 delegates. We divide them into 8 or 9 groups. Each group gets a chapter. They first try to manually summarize that chapter, and but more importantly, they also, with the help of the learning modules and the people from our team on the ground, use and run our tools on these chapters, extract patterns and informations like the word cloud, which I just showed, and curate the structured textual information in Wikidata. So that's one aspect of what they would be doing. And the second aspect is that they would also give us feedback on the learning module and the tool itself. And they would also, quickly answer a survey about how the tools help them read the IPCC report and understand them better. In other words, how did our tools make the reports more accessible to them? And that's what the survey is going to tell us. So we hope to host two workshops, one at NIPGR, which is mainly aimed at undergrads and up from Indian institutes. They might want to come in with their own reports from their institute that they would want to try out with the help of our tools and extract information from them. Or, like I told you, they might work on specific chapters. And these people, we also hope that they may be people who are from rural backgrounds who might not have an exposure to Python, let's say the language that we use to develop our tools. So this workshop would be a good introduction to the language Python, and also to the tools that we are developing. And this workshop that we are proposing will happen in March 2023. And it will be integrated into a week-long program that happens at NIPGR as a part of 75th India's independence program or something like that. So based on the feedback that we get from this workshop, we hope to re-strategize and plan another workshop, perhaps at University of Cambridge, where Peter is based at, and run something similar for perhaps a different target audience. So just to reiterate, we are going to produce and test interactive hybrid workshops on climate, and it's going to be aimed at learning to use the tools and also producing data based on what they learn. So this is learning by doing, right? And here is the timeline that we are going to follow to prepare for the workshop and develop the learning modules and also host the event and do some processing after that. So with that, I would like to thank Peter Murray-Rust for all the inputs and feedback on this presentation, and also for supporting all of us for the past 2.5 years. Daniel Meechan, who is a Wikimedian and a link, he's our link to Wikimedia, and he also has helped immensely in drafting this presentation as well. And of course, Gitanjali Yadav also gave valuable inputs, especially about the workshop for this project, and also Jose for all his inputs from the SDG Accelerator. Here are some useful links that you might want to check out. With that, I would like to sign off. Thank you.